come to the section on communicative function. Now, in the NBT academic literacy section, when you're asked a question that is focused on communicative function, that question is essentially testing your understanding of what a given paragraph, sentence, or passage is communicating. And we're going to jump into a couple of examples. But I think my first tip or strategy for this section would be, or these kind of questions, is to simply read your sentence, your paragraph, your passage, what they're asking you about 1 time, 2 times, and even 3 times, so that you're able to really understand what's going on. And I'm going to scroll down to a passage about remote working and the impact it has on urban economies. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to sort of read it before we jump into the question. Or you can... Okay. If you haven't managed to get an idea of what the entire passage is, you can click pause, read it, and then continue on. But if we're looking at question 1, it says, refer to paragraph 1. This shift has led to a decrease in revenue for businesses that once relied heavily on the influx of workers, such as local cafes and transit systems. The purpose of the sentence is to. Okay, so I'm going to go up to paragraph 1, and I'm going to read all of paragraph 1. So, as more companies adopt remote working policies, major urban centers are experiencing a decline in daily commuters. This shift has led to a decrease in revenue for businesses that once relied heavily on the influx of workers, such as local cafes and transit systems. So this is the sentence that we're kind of being asked about. Here we go. And so I'm going to kind of just, in my own words, figure out what this passage is really telling me. So as more companies adopt remote working policies, so very simply, people are working from home. And as a result, there's less people coming into cities during the week. And now with this line, that's the super important line, this shift has led to a decrease in revenue for businesses that once relied heavily on the influx of workers, such as local cafes and transit systems. So very simply, in my own words, less workers means a drop in revenue for businesses, which used to get these commuters coming in and buying things for lunch, and using transport systems. So now that I've kind of just worked out what I think my understanding of the sentence is, I now go to the options. So the purpose of the sentence is to highlight the benefits of remote working. Some people may find remote working a benefit or not coming into the city. Others may not actually enjoy it. So no, this doesn't have to do with the benefits of remote working. This is more talking about how businesses are experiencing a drop in sales because of remote work. B, illustrate the economic impact of fewer commuters. Well, we've talked about the drop in revenue for businesses. This could potentially fit our bill. C, promote solutions for affected businesses. So it does talk about businesses, but the sentence has nothing to do with affected businesses. Now you will notice that some of these options could have relevance for the rest of the passage, and they may be true for the rest of the passage, but we're focusing very specifically on the second sentence. Explain the reasons companies prefer remote working. No. So while it is a discussion about remote working, the sentence does not talk about why companies prefer remote working. It's very much centered around the economic impact of fewer commuters. Let's skip ahead to the second question, which says, paragraph 2 serves as A, an overview of remote work benefits, B, a detail of urban planning changes, C, a critique of corporate policies, or D, an introduction to new business strategies. So to read paragraph 2, the adaptation to remote work has not only changed the dynamics of corporate operations, but also influenced urban planning. Cities are now reconsidering their infrastructure projects with an emphasis on residential amenities rather than commercial expansion. Very simply, quite quickly, you're looking at this and you're like, it's changed the dynamics of corporate operations, but the main point seems to be urban planning. They introduced this idea that it's changing urban planning. Cities are now reconsidering their infrastructure products with an emphasis on residential amenities rather than commercial expansion. Okay, so really this is situated around, like, the point of the paragraph is more about urban planning and how cities are now reconsidering how they plan. Paragraph 2 serves as an overview of remote work benefits. Automatically, we can kind of get rid of that one. A detail of urban planning changes. Maybe. We've talked about how urban planning is the purpose, or it's what is this paragraph is trying to communicate these urban planning changes. See a critique of corporate policies. Definitely doesn't fit. Introduction to new business strategies. No new business strategies are mentioned, so the answer would be B. Then we move on to question 3. The point of paragraph 3 is to show how remote working saves time and money, B, to describe the benefits of not commuting, C, to discuss the personal advantages and disadvantages of remote working, to argue in favor of traditional office environments. Let's scroll up to paragraph 3, which says, many workers have embraced the flexibility that comes with working from home, enjoying the absence of daily commutes and the comfort of personalized workspaces. However, this transition has also led to a decrease in social interactions and professional networking opportunities, which were once integral parts of the urban professional's lifestyle. What do I understand from this passage? Well, the first sentence talks about the benefits for remote workers. And the second sentence talks about disadvantages. But essentially, it is talking about the impact on workers. Not businesses, not city spaces, it's the impact on workers. If we go down to the point of paragraph 3 is to show how remote working saves time and money. Well, it does say that they miss commute times, so this could be true. Describe the benefits of not commuting. It does describe the benefits of not commuting. To discuss the personal advantages and disadvantages of remote working, yes. To argue in favor of traditional office environments, so we can automatically eliminate that. Now, these 3 are all things that could be true about paragraph 3. But the question, the point of the entire paragraph, what is the one that is most correct? And as we've seen, and as we've mentioned, that first sentence talks about the benefits, and the second sentence talks about the disadvantages for workers. And so automatically you could see that while this may be correct and this may be correct, this is the point, the entire point of the paragraph. It encapsulates, it is the most correct answer because it encapsulates both the benefits and disadvantages, advantages and disadvantages of remote working. So I would say C is the answer to that. Again, with these questions, with these communicative function questions, I urge you to read the sentence and to isolate, even if you need to put in your own words, exactly what that sentence is trying to communicate, what that paragraph is trying to communicate. And don't get sidetracked by what the entire passage is trying to communicate, or, this is about trying to isolate what is the most correct answer, and what encapsulates the purpose of the sentence or the passage or the paragraph.